May I now request our guest of honor, Dr. Satyendra Singh Arya, CEO of Agriculture Skill Council of India. Please, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Respected Dr. Jain, Dr. Atre, Dr. Batulkar, esteemed delegates from various spheres. Thanks to the Journalists Association for inviting me and sharing my thoughts on skilling and how the scenario is unfolding at the national level. So just to take you back, in 2015, the government has announced a national skilling policy, which was earlier announced in 2009, but it has come in a new form. And what this skilling policy and the thrust of the government is basically to reap on the demographic dividend that India enjoys. India today is the youngest country, having the maximum population between the age group of 16 to 29. So today we are having the youngest workforce, and if we don't utilize this potential fully, it might become a bane, and let's try to convert it into a boon. The major challenges in India is that, and the development which has happened is that in 2013 December, there is a National Skilling Qualification Framework, NSQF Gazette notification, which has come into being. And what is this Gazette notification? It gives levels of skilling from level 1 to level 10 to any kind of, the skill which exists, and gives it a temporary parity with standard 9 to doctorate level, allowing the people to move from the vocational education to the academic education and vice versa. In India, we have got such a situation that none of us sitting in this particular hall would like our kids to go for a blue-collar job, because of the social stigma that anybody who is having a vocational skill is slightly underprivileged, because we come from a education system where we tend to, blame the Britishers that we produce graduates without necessarily having the employable skills. So you would have a situation where the parents of a boy or a girl who might have done their MBA from a Tier 2 or a Tier 3 MBA institute, they would love him to put in a word, Dr. Arya isko 1400 rupees ka ek job dila dijiye, 14,000 ka. They are more happy to do a job of 13,000 to 14,000 rupees, but none of us would like our kid to become a plumber or an electrician. In case he is working in Pune, he might even earn 30,000 rupees. So we are happy with degree, with lesser salary, but not with vocational skills with a higher salary. This particular, you today take the situation, I take the example of Delhi. You take a diameter radius of 40 kilometers and you have got about 150 engineering colleges. You would not be able to employ the product of even 2 engineering colleges. You need to retrain them. आप एक engineer को ले लीजिए, उसको कुछ नहीं आता होगा, he would be a liability to the industry that he comes in. And when we talk about all this skilling, let me take the example of the agriculture or the allied sciences. Today we have got about 71 agriculture, veterinary and animal science universities. There is no skill gap study, but on a broader level, 50% of the output nowadays is either becoming MBA, insurance manager, bank manager, police officer, bureaucrat, all that, but not in agriculture. And balance 50%, you divide equally, 25% may become agriculture development officer or a veterinary surgeon. They are supposed to do the extension activity, but they end up doing the subsidy allocation, the scheme monitoring. The 25% which is balance left out can be equally divided, either going to the ICR system, becoming agriculture scientist, or 12.5%, or half of it going to the agriculture university and becoming assistant professor in assistance. So whether the people who are going to do agriculture and the allied vocations, in case this is the situation. So according to this NSQF framework notification, if whatever has to happen, these standards have to be setting in post 2016, if the programs are not aligned to the NSQF levels, the government funding for any kind of capacity building program would stop. So to promote this thing, the government has done that. So there was always a particular complaint by the industry that whatever training happens in ITIs, it doesn't happen according to the current requirement. So you might find old lathe machines, you might find people getting trained on the old TB technology, whereas the cathode anodes have gone out and the latest technology is not there. So the government now has formed sector skill councils. Agriculture sector skill council happens to be the one. These are standard setting body which would set the standard occupational standards, out of which would be out of which the curriculum would be derived, and out of curriculum the content would get derived. Government has approved the sector skill council since about 36 sectors. These are sectors widely varying: healthcare, food processing, logistics, retail, mining, petrochemical. And recently the government has made another change, which is to 2 years back, a Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has created to reap on this demographic dividend. And this ministry is called Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Under these 3 departments work, which is very important for you to understand. One is the National Skill Development Agency. This National Skill Development Agency would try to bring in the synergy and coherence between the capacity building program being done by 23 different central ministries. That is number one. Number two is the National Skill Development Corporation. The word corporation is there. It funds the private skill initiatives to invest, encourage them to invest in the skilling. And the third is, development is that last year, all the ITIs, almost 6,900 in number, they have been bought from Ministry of Labour and Employment to this Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Time is less, at some other forum we will talk, but in Agriculture Sector Skill Council, what we have been able to do is to develop the standards for about 116 various job roles, and in the last 2 years we participated in 2 flagship programs called STAR Scheme and Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, in which we have trained people, almost 2,72,000 people for a month-long program in 28 different states, and the assessments have happened in 11 different languages. 3 years back, the situation was that we didn't have the assessors, qualified assessors. We approached the retired people, we made them the assessors. We didn't have the trained trainers. Nowadays, we are conducting the train the trainer programs and getting these people to work for vocational skills. Now, when we talk about the vocational skills, the challenge is all the blue chip companies, the consulting companies, they misinterpret that the decline in the agriculture workforce, which include dairy, poultry and fishery, that it is expected to go down from 260 million to about 190 million people by 2022, and they would interpret this decline as no skill gap. Whereas the fact of the matter is that the traditional knowledge transfer has stopped. Gone are the days where the kids used to spend time with their parents and learn the things. So if there is a declining land availability, there is a burgeoning population where we are adding 5 Australias every year to our country, and we want the low-cost farm mechanization, we want to reduce the drudgery. Because the rural youth has got the same aspirations. He also wants to wear a jeans. He also wants to own a mobile. He also doesn't want to sweat it out. So how do you glamorize? You keep on talking about glamorizing the field. If you need to glamorize it, you need to introduce a technology. For using the technology, you need to make him properly skilled. Now, when we talk about skilling in every forum, our main focus is not on the graduate plus level. It is about level 1, 2, 3, 4 at the primary skills level. And what we are trying to do is, we are already introduced agriculture, which includes at level 3 and level 4 dairy, poultry and fishery, in 533 schools in 5 different states. And the very important fact is that Everyone sitting in this room has to talk about skilling. Otherwise, people think that it is a non-skill job. Everywhere people ask me, what is the need of a certificate for a, say for example, a worker working in a poultry farm. If you are talking about a labor shortage in the poultry farm, and because it is not taken as a vocation in the first place, the government policy maker doesn't take it as a skill job in the first place. And what is wrong if you give him a certificate which is having Satyamev Jayate logo, even if it meets its 7% or 10% of his psychological need of being somebody. Right now the person working in your poultry farm is not perceived to be anybody. So we need to, talk about this skill requirement at various forums. Last year we had not much focus on the poultry sector. Now we have, in the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, we have trained almost 6,000 plus people on the broiler farm worker trade, because that time the only one standard was ready. Now we have developed another 10 standards in the poultry sector. My request to the industry would be, please, if you have got an institute, or if you know credible agencies who have done any kind of capacity building in the poultry sector, come forward, affiliate yourselves with us. We have got schemes which are completely funded where you don't have to spend the money. That is number one. Number two, also please give the benefit of recognition of prior learning to your workers, the people who are working. They are already skilled. They are working in your farms for 20 years, 15 years. Get them a certification. Let them get, captured in the government database, because tomorrow these schemes are going to, the trained manpower pool is going to be linked with the Jan Dhan Yojana and the lower interest rate credit availability. So let them get that benefit of recognition of prior learning. So we are there to support you, and poultry, I myself is a vet, so heading the Agriculture Skill Council of India, we are not going to get any step badali treatment, and it's just the beginning in the poultry sector. We are just making an attempt to sensitize the poultry industry about it, and with your support we'll make it happen. Thank you very much.
Dr. Satyendra Singh Arya, the CEO of Skill Development and Agriculture Skill Council of India. Sir, we had heard a lot about you. We also know you that you are the person who introduced the skill development in poultry industry, not at higher levels, but right from the labor level, skill level, to the executive level, and we are proud of you. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.